on the leasebacks. How often do you buy leasebacks, and are they more susceptible to, deception in a way?
Generally, yes. So, like on average, there's a reason why they're doing a lease back. I can't give you a percentage, but sometimes they're legit. So, like sometimes there's a genuine thing for it. Like they're trying to expand the business and they want to get it because businesses aren't property owners. Like sometimes when you're starting a business, you might buy a warehouse and you're like, oh, this is great, I'll with it. But then if the business does really, really well, their funds are actually better deployed into growing the business and doubling the revenue. So actually offloading it and leasing the premises back actually makes sense. What normally happens, you can normally tell pretty quickly, is they'll put themselves on a long lease and a high rental rate. So it makes the property look really, really, really attractive so they can get a good price. But that's part of knowing what you're doing and actually looking at the actual, basically make your offer based on the fair market rate, not what they're paying, and go from there. But yeah, there is a bit more risk with it, but also some genuine ones. The other one that kind of comes up occasionally is actually rental guarantees. So when they're selling the property, they might not have a tenant and they actually offer the selling of the property with like a 12 or 24 month rental guarantee, which generally just means they're going to pay you the fair market rent or whatever rent you agree on for that period while you find another tenant. As soon as you get another tenant, then that stops and moves on. There's a couple legitimate reasons why they do that. The illegitimate one is obviously trying to get a good price out of it because they're like, oh, look, we're guaranteeing you rent. Same as you see in residential where they're like, rental guarantee. It's a great spot. We'll guarantee $450 a week rent for 2 years. If it's a hotspot area, why do they have to guarantee it? Like you should be able to get it in a week or two. But the main reason they do that is because they actually get to look at selling it to two different people. They can sell it to investors because part of getting your investment loan is you need to show the income. It's not like resi where you get a rental appraisal and that's all you need. So you need an actual lease to be able to get finance. So they can sell it to an investor. The other one is because they don't have a tenant, they can actually sell it to an owner occupier. So they actually just get to advertise to a much wider net of people, which in their turn is going to obviously get them the best price. So that's sometimes a smart way to do it. It's good for me because I understand how to analyze it. But like you mentioned, we're talking risk. For a first-time investor, you are going to literally poop your pants if you start trying to assess, oh, what's this rental guarantee about? And you're going to just disregard that property. But I always tell people as well, you shouldn't be that focused on what the lease has now. Like if you're buying an industrial property and it's got 12 months left on the lease, I treat that exactly the same as having 3-year lease. And people are like, oh no, but I want the 3-year lease. And I'm like, what difference does it make if it goes vacant in 12 months time or 36 months time? Like you've still got a vacant property. You are going to lose your tenant at some point, whether it be 2 years, 5 years, 8 years, 10 years, 12 years, 15 years. So how's it going to stack up then? So like that's what I mentioned before about that 10-year kind of mindset. I don't want to sound flippant, but unless it's a blue chip tenant, I don't really care about the lease. It's all about the quality of the property, where it is. The lease is just there so I can get finance. And then obviously it's nice if you get a 5-year lease, you don't have to worry about it. But like I said, if it goes vacant in 5 years time or 12 months time, it's the same net result anyway. Part of the DD process is you call the tenant. And if they're like, oh yeah, we're going to stay on for the next 5 years after this 12 months, cool. I've guaranteed 6 years lease now.